So I have to say sorry about we will skip the coffee break time. So very sorry about it because we are behind the schedule now. So now we move on to the last panel discussion today, building winning marketing organization. Based on the MMA Global Report, as far as that the differential in sales growth performance for firms with low and high marketing capability, it fits three terms. So how we can tackle on this matter? And please welcome our stage, the panelists and the moderator. With the moderator, Mr. Thomas Hai, CEO OQV Group Vietnam, and the panelist, Mr. Samir Yadav, Director Marketing Vietnam Mondelez Kindo, Mrs. John Lay, Strategic Marketing Director, P&J, and Mr. Michael Lincoln Core, General Manager, Pizza Hut. And they will share you all about, and you can put the question to our panel via Slido with the QR code on screen. Yes.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Okay, so our panel has been looking at this topic of building a winning marketing organization for the last week or so, and a number of thoughts have emerged that we'll share with you now. The kind of thoughts fall into kind of three buckets. The first being the importance of collaboration across your entire ecosystem, whether that's your internal ecosystem or your broader external ecosystem of partners. But collaboration on steroids seems to be one big theme. A second one is the critical need to innovate, to build proprietary marketing capability. We touched on that a little bit this morning. And the third bucket, creating the next generation of kind of modern marketing talent. Again, a common theme from earlier today. So with those 3 points, perhaps we'll start with collaboration across the ecosystem. And maybe Samir will kick off with you with some thoughts.
Thanks, Holmes. Firstly, let me introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Samir. I'm an Indian. Been 2 months in Vietnam, and I'm absolutely loving it. The food is awesome. The people are awesome. So thank you so much. And I would also say that I was so happy to see a Cadbury case, having worked on that campaign myself. So thanks to the Meta team for presenting not just a Cadbury ad. To your point, Soms, yeah. I mean, we talk about marketing organizations, and I mean, personally believe that it's not just your own organization, because today marketing doesn't mean the set of 20, 30 people that are working in your team. I think that the ecosystem is very important. I mean, the broad idea is that how can we as an organization be the magnet for the best talent and the best idea? So think of something working in Ogilvy or in Publicis or in design agency. They think of an idea and they want to go to you. I think that's how the ecosystem sort of works. And hence it's important to invest both time, energy, and also, building capability with our ecosystems. I mean, what I personally call as building partnerships, then building a sort of transactional relationship. Yeah.
And Tremlay, would you like to build on that?
Absolutely. So I'm from P&J, Phu Nhuận Jewelry. So our core business, our starting point with some for jewelry. So similar to what Sam mentioned, for sure we also have to build capability and partnership with our our partners. I would just love to add on, and I cannot stress enough the importance of also getting the alignment and with different partners or stakeholders within the organization. So just a bit of a context. At P&J, we are a jeweler or manufacturer, and at the same time, retailer at the same time. And because we also have different direct access to consumers, so we have some potential to build tech and data capability. So for that, actually, I would start with defining the role of marketing within the organization. So I guess I was blessed to work my career, work in marketing for different organizations, from consumer goods to tech to retail. And the marketing role is also a little bit different across organizations too. So I think the very first thing is to define the role of marketing within the organization. Um, and for us, within P&J, is starting, we still, from a brand perspective, we need to be the one, the expert and own the insight from the customer. And then also other capability of classical brand marketing, like from product, from experience, from communication, experience here also in-store experience. Of course, we're gonna do it through different stakeholders within or different partners within the organization. And certainly, I'm talking about defining the role, and then also align that with the priority and the vision of the group and the CEO. And also the last thing I would say that to also get the marketing functions and collaboration with other cross functions. Here, for example, within the complexity of P&J, it also means the retail or the commercial and operation team. It's also the front line because we have like 300 something store. So they are also the partners that we have to work with. And also, I mean, last but not least, for example, is the tech and data capability or stakeholders. So that's why today I also have some of the team members, also our CTO, because they also, for modern marketing, having tech and data capability is instrumental for us.
Interesting. And when you have your own retail network, you have arguably a much broader ecosystem internally. I mean, similar to you, Michael, running the Pizza Hut business, cross-functional collaboration is critical.
Yeah, definitely agree because building on what Jam just mentioned, right? We also have offline and online store, and we believe like the cross-functional collaboration is really the way to go because obviously we have frontline staff and they actually have a huge amount of customer insight on what they like, what they don't like. And of course, when we build our team on projects, actually we naturally start to build cross-functional team. For example, if we have a campaign, we actually start to have a cross-functional team for brainstorming from the beginning, engage many different stakeholders as possible, regardless we are from which department. Because having cross-functional expertise can actually bring in more ideas that could actually make the campaign more fruitful. So that's a starting point. But at the same time, I think the co-creation part is important because once you have cross-functional collaboration, meaning that you're co-creating. So creating an ownerships of the team, but at the same time, creating the sense of motivation when the campaign turned out to be a success. And I think this is a lesson that we learn how important that we inherit the cross-functional collaboration since the beginning until the end. And for example, we have a campaign just launched recently, and we realized that if we have a successful co-created campaign internally, it's not just benefit to the customer, but also motivate our employee, reduce our turnover. So it's a 360-degree benefit of cross-functional collaboration. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Let's move on to the second idea, this building proprietary marketing capability. And we've just finished with you, Michael, but why don't you kick us off? Because I can see you there holding the book of the month.
Yeah, so in Yum and in Pizza Hut, we have a very simple framework. It's called RED. Okay, it's a RED marketing calendar. It's a RED framework. What does it mean by RED? It's relevance, easy, and distinctiveness. We always use these three key frameworks to build our calendar, to build our campaign. Why is it so important? Because it's super easy to understand. But it could be going into a book with a big book like that, meaning that although it's easy, but it has a lot of sophistication and thinking behind. But because of that, when it's so easy to remember, actually it enables us to build our marketing capability in a very easy way. Maybe let's take it in relevance. We talk about relevance, whether your campaign or whether what you build relevant to the function of a customer, whether it's relevant to an occasion, and whether it's relevant to the culture. So things could be broken down into a small framework like that, but it enable you to have a system thinking. So come down to ease, whether it's easy to use, easy to access. So you also create a framework for operation, but then that comes back to the cross-functional collaboration as well. Then distinctiveness is obvious. We want to differentiate amongst our competitors. And this is actually the capability when we always want to educate, not just the marketing team, but everyone in our organization to understand this, and then we build upon that, and we all speak the common language. Yeah.
I mean, that's a really important point. Having common language, common framework, that's critical for any organization, particularly where you have cross-functional collaboration, so that the entire organization is understanding the same language and using the same framework. You have read, I know Mondelez has your laws of growth, and again, similar philosophy, inspired by a lot of the thinking that's come out, Byron Sharp, I'm thinking. But what else is Mondelez doing in terms of building marketing capability?
I mean, if I just take a step back, and of course, there are a lot of proprietary tools and work on the marketing capabilities. Of course, we have also got a lot of tools that we go with. Laws of growth you spoke about. Whenever we are making creative, we are looking at, assessing it through the lens of whether it is distinctive, whether it is impactful, whether it is, addressing a particular consumer need. But, behind all this, one of the things that goes in my mind, and maybe I'm digressing with the point you're saying, is the whole point around what not to do. The whole point around strategy. I mean, especially in Asian markets and Southeast Asian markets or East Asia markets, we are in a growth model. So, you'll have lots of ideas, lots of stuff to do, and everything seems very exciting. But just slow down. And the most important piece that we are focusing on is whether our strategy is right, and hope that we are not doing too many things. So prioritization is very, very important to us. I don't want to delve into a lot of proprietary tools of marketing, but the starting point is strategy, strategy, strategy. Understand the consumer a lot. Get into the deeper insights, not observations. We get a lot of observations, but we really don't get insights. And then work on the right solution. So that's one of the things that we are very particular about.
Right. And then another aspect of that building that capability is around operational organizational design. At P&J, what are you doing there that's helping you build that capability?
So I really got inspired by the book from Yum Group, and I guess at P&J was still writing a book, probably named Blue Marketing. I'm joking aside because our corporate branding color code is blue. But I would just say that at P&J, honestly speaking, we are still shaping the formula, the secret sauce, so-called. And I believe that it's gonna be evolved. It's not gonna just fix it. At P&J, we not just in for marketing, but across the organization, we have been on the journey of we call ourselves the F5 refresh. So across the organization with digital transformation, but also part of thing for marketing. Having said that, I would say three things that I believe will help us to make the marketing capability at P&J stronger, and we're still doing that. We're not finished yet. I guess we just the very three things. The very first things would be consumer or shopper. I know it's a very cliche thing for us on marketeers here, but for us, starting with shopper consumer, it's not just for sure it's the customer insight, but I think with the modern marketing age nowadays and giving our business model, we also leverage to build and to grow our customer and to build our customer database and also understanding and insight with data. That's the reason why we work with Google and Facebook as our partner, but we also build our own first-party data with CDP. It's just the starting of the journey. We already started for more than a year, and then we also grow and got more insight about customers with partnership as well. So I think that is the very first pillar. May I take a step back that actually marketing capability at P&J, we don't think that it's just sitting in marketing department, but it's actually the mindset, the capability have to be across. So, so that's the first point about customer. The second thing I would say, for marketing capability, we also need to develop and continue to drive the marketing capability in terms of product innovation, insight, brand comms, and experience, as I mentioned earlier. So for us, experience we're lucky that it's not even for sure it's online, but it's also offline. It's the store, and we have more than 340, and we also have 7,000 employees. Many of them actually lifestyle consultant. I would say more lifestyle consultant than just startup, and they are the one who really bring the experience, the brainstorm, the product, the customer. And the very last thing I would say that that is our brand portfolio, and also our company culture as the foundation of all of this. So we are in the business of jeweler or jewelry, and as well as retail. So these three pillars will really build the capability that make us really unique, because of course communication, some other brands or some other business might also have similar communications followers nowadays very quick. Um, but we believe that the combination of these three can help us to build a stronger marketing capability.
Before we move on,
Just
Samir, go ahead.
Just one point, because a very interesting thought came to my mind, is because he's talking about capability. One of the things that we realized, many times when we talk to agencies and we are briefing them on a particular problem, for example, or that we want to work on something. After let's say 1 hour of briefing, we ask a question. So tell us what are we wanting from you? And we realized that 9 out of 10 times they were not very clear that what are we wanting from them. So one of the things that we are again building, in terms of the capabilities, writing the right brief. Simple thing. What do you want to do? What is the consumer tension? What's the insight? What exactly do you want to do? Otherwise, many a times English takes over and common sense doesn't. So that's an important part. So I mean, as you were talking, the thought came to my mind. Writing a proper, simple brief is one big capability that we are actually building on.
If only we could all do that. Let's just pause for a moment. We've got a question in here. We were talking about, capability and building that marketing organization. I think all of us hate this. How do you retain a stable marketing organization? Any thoughts? Michael, and maybe this is a good segue. Yum has this, and Pizza Hut has this mantra, which is when you walk into the restaurant, you walk into the brand. I would say everyone at Pizza Hut is a marketeer. And you have over, I think it's 1 billion employees worldwide, many of whom on minimum wage. And yet you, in spite of all of the challenges, you managed to retain very, very well. How does Yum maintain that kind of stability? And I'm thinking of your recognition culture. For those of you that don't know, people will go to Silicon Valley, they'll visit Facebook, they'll visit Google, but they also go to Dallas to visit Yum to understand recognition culture. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so, well, that's worth another book. There's another book talking about recognition culture. So in Yum and in Pizza Hut, we actually take every single occasion to recognize people. What does it mean by recognize? Okay, we don't just simply say thank you, and thank you, but we take this with heart. Very simple. Actually, every employee, every manager has a stack of cards when we join, which is actually a card to write a personal message to the person that you want to show gratitude to. So we, in small occasion, like a small tea break for half an hour, we actually spare one session for people to send recognition to people. So it doesn't have to be big, but if something happened that's maybe last week, yesterday, but we write personal message to say, thank you very much for doing this for me. It is my heartfelt thanks to you for what you have contributed to us. So all this shows importance, because actually appreciation will never be enough. People always say, no, I don't want that. But when somebody suddenly call you out and say thank you in a public way, people really love it. And we didn't just do it for frontline. We also do it in our head office, in our marketing team. I think constantly recognizing people, success and achievement, big or small, can continue to motivate people, because we recognize people's strength. And if you leverage people's strength, as a result, you actually enable people to realize that they can actually do a good job. So this is the culture that we have been building on, and we are actually strive to continue to do this. And for example, event like that, we will do a big recognition event yeah, so this is the cultures that we have been building on. Yeah.
Great. So on to the last bucket. How do we create this next generation of modern marketing talent? Because there are new skill sets needed. Samir or Tamlay, do you want to go first?
Sure, because for this building modern marketing organization, I just want to also touch on the point that Michael mentioned, and also this. I guess the first and fundamental things is hiring and retain the right talent for the organization, marketing talent. And I would go with, I would start with hiring the right one first because it will also fit into the retaining one. So earlier you start the whole section today with we are all in here in the talent war, and it's the same with us at P&J. We want to make sure that we get the best people, but also the right people. So luckily, because of our business model that is a bit complex, it also means that require different skill set for marketing, meaning that classical brand marketing for retail organization. And that, if we look at the right way, is an opportunity to offer development. Earlier, we talked about learning development. I think that's something that we can offer to the talent that really eager and hungry to learn and to develop themselves because of the playground, because of different skill set required. And normally these skill set not necessarily sit in one person. So we are very happy to have people with different skills and different background that we can learn and grow together. So the second thing is that even if we get the superstar, we own, even at the CEO or chairman in our organization level, that we all need to learn. And we also would love to have people and talent that have the desire to learn, not because they are fear of technology to replace the work, but because of the passion for learning. And the last one I would say is the culture fit. And it's a long story, but P&J is kind of a one-of-a-kind organization. It also required certain values. I mean, it also has certain values that we love to have the talent to share with us and grow with us. And for that, the hiring process also, of course, depends on a certain level, might take longer than others. But we rather spending time to find the right talent, just for the first and talent and the learning, but also the fit. And for that, I would just another point for retaining, for sure, all of the benefits, the recognition, but also showing them the opportunity for them to learn and grow within the organization with many business that we are growing. So I think that also have to inspire the talents that they actually not just sitting here in marketing or that particular role, but we also grow in the pipeline for the next generation at all as well.
Right. Samir, any final thoughts on that talent issue?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, yeah, it's an issue. I thought it was an issue only in India, but I go to bed thinking that I won't get a mail saying thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely an issue. I think when it comes to talent, I would again say, personally for me, I think it's not that I'm looking for a marketing talent. Diversity of thought is very important in marketing. So as I've come today, and I was listening to Thao from Google. I was listening to Min from, I think again, Google team. There was a Shopee person, and I'm getting inspired, and I'm thinking about, okay, what is he bringing to table? Me and Peter have been talking about some talent. You and me are talking about some talent. Marketing doesn't mean that there is a formula. It's not mathematics per se. So if there is a person who has got that thought, he can bring a new idea. It's about just connecting the dots. So always personally looking out for diversity of thought rather than about a particular person who has got a, let's say, marketing degree, if I may say that. It always helps. But yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Great. Okay, well, look, I'm conscious that we're out of time. So there we go. So under this, there were those three key headings: collaboration across your entire ecosystem, how do you build proprietary capability, and then how do you get that next generation modern marketing talent into an organization. So I hope that's been helpful for you. We will now wrap, and time is up, it says. Oh, we have one last question. The answer is human resources. The ecosystem doesn't require huge investment other than time, but I would say that human resources are always the number one thing to focus on.
Yeah, if human resource team would come and sit here, they might get good talent rather than, on LinkedIn is my thought.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you so much, all the panelists, for your vibrant discussion. So everybody, and now in the next session, is will be see some reflections on how brands have leveraged consumer journey to work on brand growth, and what are the remaining challenges, including how to balance between long-term brand building and short-term effectiveness, and what to look forward into the future consumer journey. And to answer for those questions, right now, I would like to introduce the next speakers. And please welcome Mrs. Nguyễn Lan Yến, Vietnam Marketing Head of Coca-Cola Company. And please give her a big applause to welcome her on stage, ladies and gentlemen.